Okay, folks, we're at IMTS 2016. We're meeting with Harry Moser with the Reshoring Initiative. He's the founder of the Reshoring Initiative. And Harry's been gracious enough to stop by our booth here and talk a little bit about what he's doing, bring some business back to America, bring some American manufacturing here.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here, Bernie. I think the good news is that where 10 years ago the U.S. was losing about 200,000 manufacturing jobs a year to offshore, by 2014 and 2015, we're bringing back as many as we're losing. We've balanced the flow. So we've made, we think, a very good start, but there's still 4 million jobs, manufacturing jobs offshore, and my job over the next 10, 20 years is to bring the rest of them back.
Excellent. So a lot of our customers are smaller shops. You know, they're not necessarily first-tier shops, and about 80%, I would think, of the manufacturing metal cutting business in the U.S. is really made up of small shops. What we'd like to ask you is how can the small shops benefit from what you're working on?
Yeah. The way for the small shop to benefit, the contract manufacturer, for example, is to help convince the bigger companies, their customers, of the advantages of sourcing domestically instead of offshore. So we provide on our website, which is www.reshorenow.org, the total cost of ownership estimator, which is a free online tool. So if you're selling, say the shop is selling to a big company, company says, Chinese price 20% lower. The idea would be for the shop to go through and use our software free to calculate the total cost. So not just price, but duty, freight, packaging, carrying cost of inventory, travel costs, all the things the big companies ignore, and use that number to convince the big company that their somewhat higher price is actually the better deal for the company.
So even though they may have some jobs that they're doing and it's being contemplated by their customer that, hey, maybe I'll move this offshore, or maybe we could bring it back, they could say, hey, you've already brought some of this back, you should bring more back, and here's why.
What I would do, I'd talk to the customer and say, of the kind of things that we can produce for you, is there anything that you're thinking of moving offshore? Let's work on that. Or even more so, is there anything you're getting from offshore where you're having delivery issues, quality issues, intellectual property issues, travel, too much late night telephone calls, and anything that's causing you pain? And let's say if we can take away the pain, and you say, well, you can't do that because our price is too high, but when you add in all those other 30 factors in the total cost of ownership estimator, the big company will often find that it's actually more profitable for them to source here. As an example, I helped a printed circuit board company in the suburbs of Chicago. The vice president of sales came to me, and he was about to lose a $25 million order to China over price. He and I together did the total cost of ownership analysis. He took it to his customer. He saved the order.
That's a wonderful story.
That's what I told him.
So one of the things you and I have talked about before is once things start to reshore back, once this stuff is here, I mean, we're a small manufacturer, niche manufacturer of high performance end mills. And what we found is the feedback from a lot of the smaller shops really helps us innovate. I mean, they provide things, if they weren't here, if that business wasn't here, our innovation wouldn't be happening. You know, we wouldn't be getting that feedback. So do you see that with it coming back that we can be more innovative? I mean, as a country, as a manufacturing in the U.S., North America.
A lot has been written by two professors at Harvard Business School. Pisano, one name, S-H-I-H, the other name. And they've written about how when you take engineering and manufacturing and you separate them, innovation declines. And when you bring them back together, now the product engineer and the manufacturing engineer and the factory worker can work together and solve the problems together, the process problems and the product design. And so it's clear that having engineering and manufacturing in the same place makes innovation happen.
That's a perfect way to end this. So once again, we'd like to thank you for coming by the Destiny Tool booth to talk to us about what you're doing, sharing it with our customers, and tell them again where your website is and what they can do.
www.reshorenow.org. You'll find my email address there, my phone number. You call me, email me. We're here to help you bring the jobs back.
Excellent. Have a great show.
Thank you.